Traditions, they keep us connected to our roots. They keep us reminding of where we come from. These beliefs and customs, they bind us to a certain lifestyle, and it becomes a taboo to even think about breaking them. But the thing is, we are in the modern world, and for the sake of survival, we have to sometimes thwart these traditions to the ground. And that is exactly what Harley-Davidson is doing with the X440, its first single-cylinder motorcycle in modern history. Now, before we say the traditions and set off, it is very crucial to understand that Harley-Davidson is one such iconic bike maker which has made its name by its V-twin-powered laid-back motorcycles. The X440, it might be a very brave attempt at challenging Royal Enfield's absolute dominion in the market, but it has to tread on a very thin line, preserving the ethos of a motorcycle which makes a motorcycle a Harley-Davidson while being powered by a single-cylinder engine. So, does the X440 evoke the same sense of freedom, the same sense of badassery as Harleys typically do? That is exactly what we are here to find out. This is Anand Pandey, you're watching BBC Top Gear Mag India, and this is the first ride review of the Harley-Davidson X440. I'll be very honest here. My heart sank a little when I first saw the X350, which was recently unveiled in China, because that looked like a hybrid child between a Chinese and an American. And mixed genes don't always work together. Now the X440, it is also a hybrid child of Hero MotoCorp and Harley-Davidson. And before you give it some stupid names like CD Deluxe 440 or Splendor 400, let me tell you this. This is a very good looking motorcycle in person and does look like a small Harley. Design inspiration from the XR lineup of Harley-Davidson can be clearly seen on the X440, especially the XR1200, because when you look at the overall silhouette of the motorcycle and the shape of the fuel tank as well, it will definitely remind you of the XR1200, and that to me isn't a bad thing at all, because the XR1200, it used to be one of the sportiest Harleys ever made. Now that being said, I really cannot get my head around the way this looks from the rear three quarters. Because when you take a good look at the overall proportions of the motorcycle, it looks like it was designed by Harley-Davidson and the rear part was Hero MotoCorp's doing. Like, no offense peeps, you seem to be on the right track with the Extreme 160R and the modern motorcycles, but this could have been implemented in a much better way.
The X440 has typical retro roadster traits as it gets a round LED headlamp which also gets segment first auto illumination apart from round indicators and a muscular fuel tank. The front half of the motorcycle looks smashing, but when you zoom out, it does look a little disproportionate. It might resonate some of the traits of a typical Harley ride experience, but when it comes to the looks and feel of it, it doesn't evoke the same feelings a Harley should. I previously thought that as an individual product, the build quality and fit and finish levels were quite satisfactory according to the price range, but now that we have seen the Triumph 400s in person, the X440, it does feel a little raw. The single pod TFT instrument cluster is a job well done, because it packs in a host of information with nice details and comes loaded with a whole host of Bluetooth connected features.
Let's talk business now. The X440, it is powered by a 440cc single-cylinder air oil-cooled engine, that is a 2-valve configuration. Now, before you think that this is the other half of the Iron 883 series engine, no, that is not the case, because this has been developed from ground up. The challenge at hand, the task at hand, and that is a very big one, was to make the engine feel like a Harley-Davidson, and not just that, make it sound like a Harley-Davidson, because when you think about it, before you can see a Harley, you can hear it. About time that we heard how it sounds like, yeah? Right from the moment that you fire up this engine and rev it up, its character becomes stark clear. It is a long stroke engine, a proper thumper at that, and a very refined one, because vibrations, they only creep in when you are nearing the 6500 RPM red line, and even there, they aren't that pronounced. So on the refinement front, Hero and Harley has done a very commendable job. Harleys have always been renowned for their oodles of torque, which can even pull a freaking freight train. And I'm immensely happy to report that the X440 is a true blue Harley in that regard, because all the 38 Newton meters of torque can be felt right from the moment you get going.
And the reason? Almost 90% of the available torque can be utilized at just, wait for it, 2000 RPM. Now there's a reason why Harley used to shy away from revealing the power figures of their motorcycles, because they are all about the torque, and the X440 is all about that too. Although the engine doesn't require you to frequently change gears because of the tractability, but you wouldn't mind doing it because of the smooth 6-speed transmission and light clutch action. It breaches past 100 kilometers per hour in a jiffy, riding on its huge torque wave. Although I managed to see a top speed of 137 kilometers per hour, the X440 falls a little flat in its top end. It doesn't want you to ride it like a maniac. Just settle in, feel the thump, and enjoy the ride. That being said, it can still cruise at 115 kilometers per hour all day long, with the major highlight being the grunty low and mid range. What further accentuates the ride experience is how you sit on the motorcycle and how it behaves out on the road. You sit pretty upright in a rather commanding stance with the foot pegs not further behind. It is a very good compromise for a retro roadster, which can be a lot of fun to ride around bends too. The saddle height of 805mm seems accessible for slightly shorter riders too, because I am 5'8" and didn't face any issue with it. The X440, it utilizes a set of 43mm UHD forks at the front and dual gas-charged shocks at the back. It is built around a trellis frame and comes shot with new MRF height tires. Now this combination proved to be actually lethal around Hero's handling track, and the foot pegs, they became the victim of this violence as we kept grinding them away corner after corner. Its 190 kilograms of curve weight and more than 1400mm of wheelbase shrinks as soon as you start riding it. It is agile on its feet and feels hungry for some good lean angles. I also found the braking to be confidence inspiring as well, but we couldn't test how the X440 will behave on bad roads. On a few undulations that we rode on at Hero's testing facility, I can assume that the suspension setup will also be pretty absorbing over bumps.
Everything will change. Now that is what X440's marketing tagline is. And now that we have ridden the motorcycle for a fair bit around Hero's CIT facility, we can assure you that everything might. Because given the sort of package this is and the aggressive sticker price that it carries, because the base variant with spoke wheels can be had for just 2.29 lakh, while the top spec variant, the S variant, can be had for just 2.69 lakh. Apart from its aggressive sticker price, the X440, it also comes off as a very, very likable package, because that engine, that is an absolute gem. It handles pretty well, the braking inspires confidence, and the build quality seems good enough. And to make the deal even sweeter, it has that Harley thump, well, sort of. And the Harley badging on the fuel tank will definitely get you some bragging rights too. Now that I've tasted this recipe, I cannot wait to devour it for a longer period of time, because this has certainly left a mark in my heart as well. This is all, folks. Thanks for staying till the end. This is Anand Pandey from BBC TopGear Mag India signing off, and I'll see you around.